Kicking it off, Liverpool against Wolves. Yo, Liverpool. What's your take on Liverpool as of late? They're looking like they're making a charge. Do you think that they could possibly be title challengers this season?
I mean, I told you before, right? They're the only ones that I see really coming close to City, but they're nowhere near their performance level. The score, obviously the same 3-1. Both teams went away from home and beat the opponent 3-1, but they won the game with a 10-minute spell. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like Liverpool is kind of relying on those spells, though. Same thing against Newcastle. They had that quick spell, double
Right.
shot in. And now here against Wolves again. I
Both
mean,
towards the end of the game. Yeah.
right. So, I mean, are we looking at a side that is grinding out results and showing their champion mentality, or are we looking at a side that is just scraping away? It's really tough to tell. It's too early for us to really make an accurate assessment.
Yeah, but one thing still remains the same is that Salah, I mean, this so-called Klopp 2.0, Salah's 31, but he's going to be the key player for this team, for this new look Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool.
And
Because
that was gonna be my next question to you is I mean, we always knew that he was obviously the most important player, but now more than ever again, it's seeming like yet again he's proving vital to Liverpool, despite the links away as well to the Saudi club.
he's worth more than 200 million pounds to them. Because I think they offered up to 150. Of course, that was towards the end of the window, but yeah, this guy's not replaceable. You can give him all the money you want in the world. You're not finding a Salah for Liverpool, really.
Yeah, for Liverpool, honestly. And it's actually quite astonishing because how do you think they're gonna hold up if he were to leave?
The goals will dry up. I think he should have 3 assists yesterday, right? Pretty much. It's him. It's his team. Like it's simple as it's his team.
That's what I was about to say. Recently as well, he's been proving a lot more than just the goals, to be honest. So, yo, credit has to be given where it's due. So, yo, Salah right there is arguably one of the best Premier League players of all time.
Yeah.
But yo, your side, ah boy. Anyways, start the clock. Let's hear it.
Give me 2 minutes, yeah, because I don't want to make it too long, but I mean, I say to you, this guy needs to go. This guy's in the manager. I'm not saying he actually needs to go, um, because what's that gonna achieve, you know? But there are so many worrying signs. Like, I'm not just saying this because of the results. The guy's been getting found out tactically every single game. You know, uh, Tottenham second half, he failed to make adjustments when Madison was getting more free on the ball. No adjustments made, and 2 goals conceded against Brighton. We start off well, and De Zerbi makes a bit of change. Dropping the attackers to the middle to flood the middle, and then play the ball out wide to the fullbacks. No answers. He's getting taught left, right, center by the opponents, by the opposition managers, and he looks like he's out of ideas. Like it's the same thing that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was criticized for. Out of ideas. We don't know what he's trying to do. He can't seem to respond in game. What's the difference? He's been able to, and I don't get it because he was last season. We scored the most goals, or our subs scored the most goals. Meaning, he was seeing the game well and making the right decisions. So I don't know what's happened to this guy, but combined with the dreadful style of football that we're playing, I don't think he's the answer, really. And of course, the problem stems from way above him. I'm not saying this is all his fault, but he's not faultless. Like some fans are saying he's not the problem. He can be a part of the problem. Both things can be true.
Well, okay. With this talk, a lot of the attention has been put towards Ten Hag and Man United. I want to flip the perspective a little bit. How much credit do we need to give Brighton for this performance? Yet again, they've come out with another convincing victory. Is this all down to Man United not performing, or is some of this also Brighton's good work?
I didn't think they were that magnificent. We made it so easy for them. They had 3 chances and they made it 3-0. It wasn't like they dominated us in a sense of they were able to play their. It was so easy for them in a sense. But in an attacking sense, I was not in. It was not like they blew us off the park. We were just that bad. So a credit where it's due. Okay, I mean, De Zerbi's been in the job for less than, I think today's a year mark, I think, actually, for him. So credit where it's due, but it wasn't like Brighton were the prime Barcelona or anything like that. If it was, then I'll put my hand up and say, whoa, there was nothing we could do. This was Brighton's second team, you know. Estupinan was back from the international break, South America, so he didn't play. The striker Evan Ferguson didn't play. João Pedro didn't play. I'm forgetting.
João Pedro scored, no?
He came on as a sub, but like the side that started was almost a second string side for Brighton, and the fact that a second string side are able to just play the us off the park so easily. What are you doing, Ten Hag? Like what's his idea?
Yeah, it's big questions to ask still. But that's before I move on from that, it's an interesting point you mentioned about the subs or the starting side really being the second string team. At this point, it seems like Brighton, it doesn't even matter personnel wise who is on the field. We always say this, it comes down to just their system. So I mean, it just comes back to the circle what we're talking about, the credit that just is needed for Brighton and their side this season, in my opinion at least. Aside that possibly deserves more credit than they're getting at the moment, as much as I hate to say it, Tottenham, they're looking annoying.
Well, what annoyed me even more after the result is I checked the result. Obviously, it was 1-0 to Sheffield United. I'm like, all right, at least somebody dropped points too. I go on my phone 5 minutes later and it's 2-1. This is not in Tottenham's DNA. We've never seen Tottenham do this kind of thing before. So, I mean, I'm still not convinced. Like you, I'm sure you aren't either. But yeah, it's a different Tottenham side. That I mean, you have to say that it's a bit different. You know, we don't know if it's legit yet, but it's a bit different.
Yeah, it's different and it's low-key scary, bro, because like
You're playing them next week.
That too, but also just the fact that this manager is new. We don't know, well, at least I never knew much about him prior, so it's like I don't know what to expect. I don't know if this is like a fluke, as we've said in the past, in the last episode we were talking about that. Is this a fluke? Is this the start of bounce with a new manager, like we always say? Or is it real? We can't really tell yet. Again, like we said before, it's just too early. It's too early to say. So make we see. Next week's gonna be a big fixture for both sides, honestly. Aside both sides picking up points though. Level on points right now, just separated by goal difference. So let's see. It's gonna be very interesting. But the side that's clear at the moment, Manchester City, what we're looking at for them is too easy.
Yeah. I think it's not something that we kind of glossed over is I think it was a young signing of the season, I think we called it, Jeremy Doku. Pep Guardiola come out after the game saying, you know, all sorts of praises for this guy. His future is bright, like we said. He scored the equalizer, obviously. How did you view his game? And because I know you like him quite a bit, so
he's definitely dangerous, very very dangerous, and I think there's a lot more terrorizing to come from him in world football. Honestly, just a scary prospect, and I think when it says a lot, the fact that he's coming and he's already getting the level of game time under Pep that we're seeing from him is very impressive. No, I know that rotation is bound to happen in that squad, but hats off to him for getting the game time because he's looking to be a key asset for City.
Yeah. And like we said, just the type of player that they were missing. They haven't had that since Bernardo kind of declined from that role about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And
As
even that, Bernardo was a different type of player, dribbler than Doku.
yeah. I think like we said last time, we're looking at like it really brings the Sane and Sterling era back. Really does. But yo, Newcastle scraping away with the win against Brentford. Yo, Newcastle, what's the possibilities now for them? Are they back on the climb? Because I didn't feel like this was very convincing from them, if we're being real.
No, it wasn't. And they were aided by Mark Flecken. I can see why there were doubts over this guy. Going from David Raya to Flecken, who not a bad keeper, I would say, but David Raya was top of the charts, not only with the save, but especially more on the ball, right? I mean, maybe we'll touch on him later. He's actually started for Arsenal. But yeah, it should not have been. I mean, it was a gift.
Yeah, and maybe that's what Newcastle needed right now, just to kind of get themselves back on track. But maybe it's not really a full show, because a lot of the times, even when teams get a break like that, they don't truly feel that level of confidence that you'd expect, because it's not like through their own doing.
Yeah, I mean, they did deserve some luck after the first 4 games, a very tough stretch of games that they've had. But it's Newcastle. They have a good home crowd. That they can always rely on that. It seems like they always get the nighttime football, where obviously the atmosphere is going to be better than a 3 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something the league is kind of favoring them. I don't know, but that's like what, the third primetime kickoff that they've had in the first 5 games.
Yeah, it is kind of weird still. I did notice that as well, but I didn't really put the dots like that though. But now that you mention it, kind of is, I don't want to say concerning, but something to keep an eye out for sure. Yo, your discussion on Raya though, his start
Yeah.
against Everton was quite impressive, especially in my eyes. Clean sheet, commanded his area, good on the ball. Yo, he was actually very good. And what I like about him as well, he had that kind of that know-how in terms of how to handle the time, the game management side of it. Hats off to him.
This is pretty much a mirror of 2 years ago, where, right? Because Ramsdale started after the international break. Was it against West Brom at home, right? Over Leno? Or am
Oh,
or
maybe
am I
not West Brom, but I know what you're talking in the same kind of setting of Ramsdale came and take over the
right?
number one essentially.
Right, right. And then we know the rest. I mean, Peter Schmeichel, one of the best keepers in the Premier League ever, he's come out and said a keeper is a special position. They don't need competition. They need the knowledge and the support and confidence that they will be, the starter no matter what, right? And I mean, just what do you think about having two good keepers? Maybe not the best, but two top class keepers. I mean, Ramsdale must be feeling a bit hard done by everything that he's done. He just signed a new contract this summer. Do you agree with this, decision to sign Raya and start him? I know Ramsdale's probably going to be at home thinking, damn, I'm going to be the same thing that I did to Leno might be happening to me right now. And for no obvious reason, right? He wasn't like bad or anything like that.
Well, that's the thing, right? So I don't like this concept of number one, of this starting keeper or anything like that, because
Why not?
because if you don't go into a season picking a starting 11, you go into a match picking a starting 11. So why do you have to identify or announce who is going to be your starters for the season when in reality that can change on the back of every match? So I like the idea of having another keeper come in, not just for the competition, but for the rotation, for the style of game that you're going for. Ramsdale, by the way, yes, overall he's been very good for Arsenal. Everyone's happy with him overall, but in the last few games, he's been making some weird errors. If we're being honest, against Fulham, he made the error. He made a weird error on the Pereira save. He should have been grabbing that. He's been doing that like quite consistently, honestly, to the point where people were even questioning that. So not just that is also an opportunity when you have when your players are out of form to be able to rotate. So I'm all for it.
I hear you, like, but nobody starts the season saying this guy is going to be our starter every single game or week. But keeper is a special position. You know, they don't run around 10 miles every game. And I just think there's a reason why nobody does this. If this was something that's, you know, going to work every time, I think we would see a lot more top teams doing this.
I just think it's been overlooked. I just don't think it's been something that has been thought of by many managers.
This guy's making Arteta a innovator or something.
No, I just think I'm not saying he's innovating. I'm just saying I think he's aware and attentive to the detail, because I don't think a concept of depth was a major thing in football history as much as it is now.
Even in the keeper position?
I just think in general, I think nowadays in modern football, depth has been valued and classed way higher than it has ever been in world football, in the history of football. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's some time like way in the past before that I don't know about, but I just know now depth is valued very highly. And I think now that's growing and expanding to beyond just the outfield players to now the keepers. There also needs to be keeper depth. What happens if one keeper gets injured? That can happen at any moment. We had Leno got a freak injury one season against Brighton. That can happen at any moment.
Right. I mean, we'll see. This might all just be a moot point. It could be that David Raya starts in the Champions League and Ramsdale starts in the league. We've seen that before. But on the performance, a win's a win. I thought Everton might have a new owner bounce, not a new manager, but a new owner bounce. But they didn't. I don't think Arsenal played that great anyway. But Everton, I expected more from Everton.
Really?
No. Well, yes, from the games that they've played, they've actually created a bunch of decent chances. They just haven't been able to come, and they've been a bit unlucky too. But today, it was dreadful.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't see the potential in them that much in general. And they have a few good players here and there, but I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they're some league winner or anything like that, but that performance, oh my goodness, that could be one of the worst this season.
I think Arsenal controlled the game. Arsenal's game style is different this season. We're slowing it down. We're keeping possession.
Yeah. And I think it works better away from home than at home for you guys, really.
Yeah, possibly. I'd like to see some more fluidity, some more, gilt-edged chances created. But, the manager has the thing for trusting,
Yeah. Overall, we won't even bother talking about Chelsea. They don't deserve the screen time.
That's all we have time for today. Guys, thanks for tuning in as always. We hope you enjoyed your time with us. Remember to subscribe, to leave comments, and share with your friends. Follow us on social media at FOTBpod. Don't forget to leave a review, rating, and most importantly, don't forget to turn on those notifications. Join us again next time as we discuss the highly anticipated upcoming Premier League action. Thanks again as always. See you then.